kitchen tip hint, and I am making more tomatoes. I am jarring more tomatoes, and I needed to get this done today because, as you could tell, some of them were going on me, but that's okay because I'm going to clean that up and use them anyhow. Normally when you make tomatoes for jarring, you squeeze out, as you can tell, these tomatoes, I squeezed out the water, but normally I would squeeze it down the drain. And my daughter told me one day, she goes, "Mom, what are you doing?" I says, "Well, this is the way my mom used to do it. She used to squeeze out the water and some of the seeds inside, so you have a richer, more delicious tomato sauce." And she goes, "Well, that seems like a waste." And I says, "You know what? You're right." So I have been collecting the water that I squeeze out of my tomatoes, and then I'm going to show you, because I make the most delicious recipe out of this. I make a lentil risotto. I do have one in the fridge I'm going to show you. Now what I do, again, I used to peel my tomatoes, but you know what? I find that if you blitz it in a blender, you don't even see the skins anymore, and it just adds a richer taste. That was such a long process. That's how my mom used to do it. She used to peel every one of her tomatoes. Well, I stopped doing that a long time ago. But I do cut off whatever nasty part is on the tomato. I do have some newer tomatoes where they're perfect, but these ones here, because I had so many tomatoes to make, some of them are touched. So thanks to Erica, she's holding my camera. So I do remove whatever piece that's touched. Like I said, I don't peel my tomatoes anymore. And instead of getting rid of this water down the drain, I simply squeeze it in here. Don't mind my lack of nail polish on this hand. And then it goes into my vessel. So again, I squeeze the water, JJ. And if a couple of seeds come out, that's good. And then tomato on the side. So I'm going to continue doing this, and then I'm going to show you what I throw in my sauce. I'm not just making a pasada, I'm actually making a sauce. So this way, when I'm ready to make pasta, I just open up my jar and my sauce is going to be ready for me. So I'm going to make just delicious sauce that I'll have ready to make pasta. So I'm going to see you in a little bit after I do some of this, and I'll show you my next step after I squeeze the water out of my tomatoes. I'm going to show you the next step of what I do to these tomatoes. I salt them and I let them drain a little more, but I'll show you how I do it. Now, so preparing these tomatoes for cooking, what I do is I put in a large sift. I do cut them in smaller pieces. Now, I have drained all the water. I put some in a jar. I've got some more here. But there's so many things you can do with this. Otherwise, normally this would go down the drain because I would just squeeze the water and the seeds right out. Thanks to Eric, I've been saving it, and I've been making recipes with that. But for now, we're going to add a little bit of salt, and that's going to help remove even more liquids out of my tomatoes. If my pieces, because I only cut the tomatoes in half, I will cut these again in half. I'm only using one hand for now just to show you. I've got a sharp knife so it works. But I do cut these in halves one more time, and I keep adding some salt to these tomatoes. And that's going to help remove even more water, because you don't want all that water. Otherwise, it's going to take forever for you to cook down your pasta sauce. You don't want to overcook it, because then you don't have that nice fresh tomato taste. It's just going to change on you. Not that it's not going to be good, but you don't want to cook this down like forever. So by removing that water, you get a richer... Oops, sorry guys, I'm trying to do this with one hand. By removing that water, you do get a richer tomato sauce. Can I do this with one hand? Maybe I can just break it in half. Yeah, I could do it this way, so I can show you what I'm doing. I'm just breaking it down, and every once in a while, I add just a small shake of salt. So I'm going to continue doing this, and then I'm just going to let this sit in my sink And every once in a while I come here and just lightly press it to remove whatever liquid. Unfortunately, that's going to end up going down the drain. But the most of it I did get, and we're going to make a recipe with that. So I'll see you in a bit, guys. Okay, guys, so now they're all salted. And I'm not sure if you can see, I put a plate underneath to see all the water that's coming out of it. But I got most of the best part of the water that I squeezed out of these tomatoes. So if this goes down the drain, it's okay because it's also very salty. So I gently just press them down. Just press, press, press. And I'm going to leave them like this for a bit. And then I'm going to use these to make my pasta sauce. Yummy, yummy, yummy. They're going to get jarred. I'm going to have 32 ounces. 32 ounces, maybe 4 out of this batch that I'm making. Yes, I'm making them a little at a time because, you know, I do have a life. I do have to edit videos. I don't have time spending days just making tomato, but they get done anyhow. I've jarred some already. I'll show you later all the ones I've jarred. And I've got roasted tomatoes more roasted tomatoes in my fridge downstairs. I've got some in my garage because it's already starting to cool off my garage. And I have another one that I did this morning, plus I'll do more later because I could actually take those roasted tomatoes, blend them up, and make a delicious pasta sauce. So there's many ways you can utilize your tomatoes in the fall. And yes, it's still early, but you know what? You've got September now, guys. If you haven't done, even if you do a little bit of jars, just to experiment and to enjoy, you should try it. So go to your market, pick up some nice Italian tomatoes, and start preparing to make a little just for yourself, just to see how you like it. If it's way too much work for you, then all you have to do is not do them next year, right? So as you can see, they keep dripping. Look at all that water. But this is going to leave me with the best and the sweetest tomatoes I've ever tasted. I think this is the best I've had this year, were the tomatoes that we bought so far. And yeah, so I'll see you in a little bit and I'll show you how I make my sauce. Very easy and very fast, guys. I do put 1 carrot and some celery in my sauce. That's all the time. That's something that goes in my sauce all the time. But yeah, I'm gonna, hopefully Erica's gonna go get it for me. But I'll fry this up and I'll start blending. While this is frying up, I'm gonna start blending my tomatoes so I can add it to the sauce. Okay, I don't wash when the carrots are either from our garden or from my cousin's garden, I don't peel them. I just give them a good wash. I'm just going to take off that little bit. That's not very pretty. And I'm just going to cut them one more time. They don't have to be cut precise. Erica, can you go get me some celery from the garden? If you don't mind, please. Oh. And these go straight into my sauce. Okay, first batch of tomatoes has been blended. Not sure if you can see it. There it is. Beautiful, isn't that nice? And I'm gonna pour it in. Beautiful, beautiful. Now I'm gonna pour in my tomato. There we go. And I'm gonna blend a little more, guys. So leave the water out, guys. You don't want the, I'll show you what I mean. I'm gonna blitz that, and this is the liquid that's left. I am not going to add that to my sauce. I just want the pulp. So this I'll put aside and I'll cook with it. Okay, there's my sauce, and I'm going to use the celery stalk. I think that's more than enough for this. So at this point you could taste it, but I'm sure I am going to be adding a little. Let me just shut this fan so I don't make you go deaf. For now, I'm just going to cook it a little like this, and then I'm going to taste it and see if I need to add maybe an extra pinch of clove, or maybe some extra salt, or maybe even some extra sweetness. Olive oil, as you could tell, I have plenty, but I can even add a little more because sauce really is all about the fat, the sugar, and the salt, guys. So I'm going to see you in a little bit when the sauce is done, and I'm going to show you when I bottle it. Almost done, guys. It didn't take that long. Notice all the fat, salt, sugar, or maple, whatever you desire to sweeten your sauce. And that's how easy that is. So I'm going to keep it going just a little longer. And then we're going to be able to put these in jars and seal them while they're super hot. Okay guys, these are all cleaned and sterilized. And what I do is that I put my sauce as hot as I can get it. That means I still keep my sauce going as I am canning these. And then I close them and they're done. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Let me put this on low. And it really didn't take long for my sauce to thicken up, guys, because I did what I did to it. There we go. Sorry, it might get steamy. Because I removed that water, I was able to make a nice thick pasta sauce. Okay. Just a little extra on top. Try not to dirty your rim. There we go. Use a dry piece of paper towel, and you close it. There you go. And these will sink in with the heat as they're cooling off. It's just you're gonna hear the pop, and you know that these are sealed, but they still have to go in a cool place. But I'm gonna let them cool off by themselves. So I will cover them with like a towel so that they slowly cool off. Right now I'm going to just put this on my stove, and then I'm going to wipe them down, and I'll be able to, I have a big jar, cover them and let them cool off, and then I'll be able to put them away for this winter. JJ. I even put my celery in there. If the bay leaf goes in, it goes in. I don't care. So, like I said, I don't do a whole bunch of jars at one time. I pretty much make a little at a time. And that's how I do it. So this way I could do other things like edit videos and make videos for you guys. Otherwise, I'd be here all day and not get anything else done. Okay, so there you go. On goes my cap. Give it a tight shot, and off to the side it goes. So I should be able to get 3-4 jars of pasta sauce. Now this, like I said, it's not passata, it's pasta sauce. I'm ready to just take this jar when I'm ready to have dinner. Maybe throw in a package of meatballs or some tofu chicken, whatever I have on hand shredded chicken, sausages. I could even do like a mince if I want to make pasta sauce with minced meat. I use the little protein bits there. So there's so many things you can do with your sauce. Okay, there we go. Make sure it's nice and clean and dry. And let's do another jar and see how far I go. Make sure your jars are clean before you do this. Now if this doesn't go all the way to the top, that's okay. I'm going to put it in the fridge and I'm going to use it to make something this week. I might get a full jar after all. Look at that, guys. I did get a full jar. Okay, 4. All right. Keep that clean. Okay, so now these are going to slowly cool off. I'm going to show you what I have. Okay, that's what I've done so far this morning. I made another jar of roasted tomatoes, and I just made these 4 right now. Tomorrow I'll make another batch of 4, and I'll slowly build my pantry in my garage. That's where I keep my stuff when the weather starts cooling off, because it's almost like a refrigerator in there, because I don't heat it up. And that's where I put my produce over the winter also. So makes my life very easy. But here we go. I'm going to put them on the counter, cover them with a towel, and they're going to slowly cool off. Like this one's already popped. I did this one this morning, so that's completely sealed. My pasta sauces, once those are sealed and very cool, then I can remove the outer lid and just leave this attached to my jars. You don't have to keep this on. I would take the outside off. But there you go, very simple. Because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that water that I saved. Now, there's many things you can do. If you really want to get gourmet, you can strain that completely and have such a very clear tomato broth. All you have to do is maybe cook a little bit of orzo or maybe some couscous and just add that broth on top and leave it super clear. Or you could do what I'm doing right now. Now, this is the one that I did a few days ago. It's been in the refrigerator. And that's that clear broth I was telling you. You can't really see it. It settles, like when everything settles, or you could pass it. Then you can make a very delicate broth. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow to show you. But for now, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this. And for this one, I don't strain nothing. I put everything in there. I put the pulp, the seeds, the water. And because I have more from today, I'm going to add just a little more. Okay, I'm going to add my steak spice. I'm using 1 cup of lentil, and that's 1 cup of lentil, but because I used a little more, so I'm going to use a little more lentil. So that's 1.5 cup of lentil, green lentil I'm using. And I'm going to put this on the burner, and I am going to cook it down till there's no more liquid, guys. Well, a little liquid, because we're going to be adding some orzo to this. Like I said, I make my recipes the way you see me make them. I don't usually measure. If I see I have too much liquid, if I see I put lentil and there's still too much liquid, then I'll add like a little bit of pasta, and that's going to absorb that water, or even some rice, and then it'll just get thicker. But what you want is almost like a lentil risotto. So for the amount of liquid that I use, tomato liquid, I could have even maybe put 2 cups of lentil in here because you want this thick like a risotto. Now, I pretty much plucked all the rosemary I had in my garden, making my sun-dried tomatoes. Not my roasted tomatoes. So I'm going to use a little bit of dry this time around. And that's going to be just as good. And just taste it. It's going to be delicious. I might even add some garlic, which I will. Hold on. I'm just going to add the whole clove. And because it's only me and Erica who's going to be eating this, I am going to put some heat in there, guys. Yeah, if you squish your garlic, the skin comes off nicely, and then you could just throw your garlic in whole. And whoever finds it just yanks it out if they don't want to eat it. But it will give it a nice flavor, that's for sure. And I just want to again tell all of you how much I really appreciate you guys. You guys really make my day. You make me want to get up and make recipes for you. So I'm going to say thank you. Thank you for following us. Me, my daughter. I know some of you went to my daughter's YouTube. She will be doing videos again. Right now she's got other things that she's got to do that's more pressing. But she will be making other videos. So if you follow her, I'd really appreciate it. I have another daughter who stopped doing videos for a bit, but she might pick that up too. So if you go to my main page, you'll find them. That's for sure. Okay, so I'm going to put this to cook. I'm going to put it to first boil and then reduce that heat. And we're going to cook this slowly. And this won't take long because lentil takes about maybe 20 minutes to cook, guys. And I am using up that water that normally I would be throwing down the drain. And thanks to Erica, we don't do that anymore. We're not wasting. And we're able to use that water in other recipes. So I'm just going to put this on high and move these jars that are super hot right now. Jeez Louise. My God. You could lose a finger. There you go. Let's make some more deliciousness, guys. As you can see, the lentil is cooking nicely. I just put some garlic, some rosemary, some steak spice. I'll put a little bit of maple syrup, that's for sure. And I'm using the liquid that normally I would just throw away. I remember my mother had this super huge wicker basket that she would cut her tomatoes in, and then she would press those tomatoes down, and all the water would just run down our backyard. And she would take the hose and wash it down. And then she would take those tomatoes and she would put them in jars and then put the lids on, and then she would can them. And she would put them in a big pot with boiling water, and she would cook them that way. I'm making my life a little easier by cooking my tomatoes and then putting them in jars while they're super hot, and then let the lids seal itself. So that's how I'm doing it. Normally my mother and I would peel those tomatoes, but I don't have time for that anymore. I leave the skins on and I blitz it up with a blender. You never even know. Can you tell me if there's any skins in there? You don't see any skins whatsoever, guys. So just as good. I find that the skins give it even a richer taste. So here we go. It's boiling. I am going to lower this to a low. I'm going to cover it, put on a lid. Now I'm not going to put the orzo yet because I want the lentils to cook first. I'm going to give it a timer of 20 minutes. And then I'll come here and see how much liquid I have left, and that would tell me how much orzo I can add to this dish. And that orzo will cook in no time at all. And then I have a dish ready for later on tonight that I could put on rice or anything I desire. So it's almost like a minced meat, guys. It's so delicious. That's what Erica said. She goes, Ma, it feels like I'm eating minced meat. Really, really good. And I wasted nothing. Normally that water would go down the drain. And this time I'm cooking with it, thanks to my daughter. Okay, I love you guys. I want to tell you how much I love you all. You guys keep making me want to make videos for you. And I appreciate you more than you could imagine. So I'll see you in a little bit, guys. Okay, there's a minute left. As you could tell, the lentil still has a little bit of liquid. So I am adding a quarter cup of orzo to this. Give it a good mix and close off the lid. The lentil's still just a little al dente. So the lentil and the orzo should cook up nicely now and pull in the rest of the moisture that's there. So I'll see you in a bit. I'm going to put a timer for maybe 5 minutes. It should be ready. If not, whatever time it needs, I'll just cook it a few extra minutes if I need to. But that's how easy it is to make this dish. Keep this in mind next time you make fresh tomato sauce. So I'll see you in a bit, guys. Here it is. It is cooked. It's been cooked for a while now, so when you see this, it's already cooled off. But I did have a little extra broth this time around, so what I did was I threw in some TVP, just a small quarter cup, and it absorbed the water beautifully. And so now I have a very high protein dish I can serve to my family. We're going to put this on top of some squash tonight that I've already baked in the oven. And we have some roasted tomatoes that my husband requested to have for his dinner. And dinner is going to be spectacular. We're just going to flip it over gently. There we go. Okay. We're just going to take some of this out, throw it in there. Beautiful. To this, I'm going to add some soaked cashews. About a quarter cup, maybe even less. Oh, there's one more there. Okay. About maybe 2 tablespoons of tahini. Oh. Here we go, some fresh basil. A little salt. A little water. Okay, we're going to just blitz that up. My God. Heaven on earth. Really, really good. Okay, I'm just going to put that in there. Okay. Right, I'm just going to squeeze just a little lime in that. I'll put some lemon this time around. Let me see. Let's try it with lemon. I always use lime. I'm going to try a little lemon. And what this is going to do is it's just going to make it keep its color. Just a little lemon. Give that a mix. Very good. A little extra lemon. Use as much lemon as you like, guys. If you want extra tangy. Okay. So good. So, so good. Okay. Black pepper. Just a little extra salt. And we should be good. Perfect. My God. Hello. I'm telling you, I impress myself sometimes. Yeah, I'll get the big one to Erica. There we go. How easy is this and how beautiful is this dish? So I hope you like this recipe, and if you give it a try, come back, let me know what you think. And remember guys, when you put good intentions and love in your food, it always tastes great. So thank you for watching, thanks for coming by, and I'll see you in my next video.
For more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to Connie's RAWsome Kitchen. Give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends.